The notification came at 11:47 p.m., just as I was peeling off my scrubs after another soul-crushing 12-hour shift at the hospital. My phone lit up with that familiar banking app alert, the one that usually meant someone had bought groceries or paid a bill. This time, it meant my family had stolen from me. Again. For business class tickets to Maui. $4,800 total. My credit card, their names. No Alex Martinez on the passenger manifest, because apparently, I was only good enough to fund their paradise, not experience it. The irony wasn't lost on me. 3 hours earlier, my mother had delivered her verdict with the casual cruelty that only family can master. Flights are $1,200 each. If you can't afford it, stay behind. She'd said it while I was still in my car, exhausted, reeking of hospital disinfectant and other people's pain. The speakerphone crackled with her dismissal as I sat in my apartment parking lot, too tired to even turn off the engine. Stay behind. Like I was optional. Like I was baggage they could afford to leave at the curb. But here's what my mother didn't know as she delivered that verbal slap: I'd been staying behind my entire adult life. While they lived, I survived. While they vacationed, I worked double shifts. While they dreamed, I bled money to keep their fantasies afloat. Not anymore. I opened the banking app with shaking fingers, my heart hammering against my ribs. There they were, lined up like accusations: Kayla Martinez Bennett, my sister; Derek Bennett, her worthless husband; Sandra Martinez, mom; William Martinez, dad. A perfect family portrait painted in unauthorized charges. The rage that flooded through me was primal, volcanic. It wasn't just about the tickets. This was the culmination of 6 years of financial abuse disguised as family loyalty. 6 years of being treated like a walking ATM with legs, dispensing cash on demand and never expecting a receipt. I tapped dispute all charges. Then I locked the account entirely. The nuclear option. The point of no return. Within an hour, my phone was buzzing like an angry hornet. Text from Kayla: why is nothing paid for? We're at check-in and everything's declined. I stared at her message, imagining her at LAX in whatever expensive outfit she'd probably bought with money she didn't have, her face twisted with the entitled rage of someone whose free ride had just ended. For once in my life, I didn't feel guilty. I felt powerful. I typed back 2 words, figure out, but the real confrontation came the next morning. Dad showed up at my apartment like some discount mob enforcer, still wearing his Hawaiian shirt from the aborted trip, his face a mask of bewildered fury. He pounded on my door with the confidence of a man who'd never heard no from his daughter. Abigail. Open this door. We need to talk. I watched him through the peephole, this man who'd raised me to believe that love was transactional, that family meant financial servitude. He looked smaller than I remembered, diminished somehow. Maybe it was the Hawaiian shirt. Maybe it was the first time I was seeing him without rose-colored glasses. I didn't open the door. He knocked for 7 minutes, I timed it, before giving up. As his footsteps faded down the hallway, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years: peace. That evening, Mom left a voicemail that perfectly encapsulated our toxic dynamic: you really hurt your father today. He flew back early just to talk to you, after everything we've done for you. Everything we've done for you. I saved that voicemail, not for sentiment, but for evidence. Because I was done gaslighting myself about what this family had actually done for me. Let me paint you a picture of the Martinez family dynamic. I was the responsible one, the nurse with the steady paycheck, the unmarried daughter with no kids to waste money on. I was their safety net, their emergency fund, their get-out-of-financial-jail-free card. They were the dreamers, the spenders, the ones who deserved nice things because life was hard. The pattern started when I was 22. Kayla needed a dress for her engagement party, $600 for one night, because you work in healthcare and don't even dress up, so it's not like you'll notice. She promised to pay me back by month's end. That was 6 years ago. I'm still waiting. Then came Dad's kitchen renovation loan that I co-signed because one day you'll inherit this house. Spoiler alert, they refinanced twice and used the money to cover Derek's failed business ventures. The house I was supposed to inherit is now worth less than they owe on it. The requests kept coming, each one wrapped in family obligation and emotional manipulation. Mom's grocery money when she forgot her wallet. Dad's medical deductibles when his blood pressure spiked. Derek's car insurance after he crashed my Honda and my premiums doubled. Always temporary. Always just this once. Always my problem to solve. I was the frog in slowly boiling water, and they were master chefs. But the Hawaii incident wasn't just theft, it was revelation. As I sat at my kitchen table that night, laptop open, creating a spreadsheet of my family's financial abuse, the numbers told a story that would make a forensic accountant weep. $600, Kayla's engagement dress, never repaid. $2,500, emergency loan during Derek's unemployment, never repaid. $800, Dad's MRI deductible. $1,200, various forgotten expenses Mom promised to Venmo back. $4,800, unauthorized Hawaii tickets. $150, interest and late fees from the above. Total, $10,050. $10,000. In 6 years, I'd subsidized their lifestyle to the tune of $10,000 while eating ramen 3 nights a week and driving a car with 120,000 miles on it. I hadn't taken a real vacation since college. My savings account was a joke. My student loans were a nightmare. But hey, at least Derek's knees were comfortable in business class. That night, I did something that would have been unthinkable 48 hours earlier. I created an invoice. A real invoice, with line items and totals and a 30-day payment deadline. I attached bank statements, credit card records, every piece of evidence of their systematic financial abuse. Then I sent it to our family group chat with a message that would have made my old, people-pleasing self faint. Reimbursement request for unauthorized charges and past financial support. Per your stated belief that families should support each other, please see attached breakdown of financial assistance I've provided over the past 6 years. As of today, I will no longer subsidize family expenses. Full repayment expected within 30 business days. After that, I'll be filing formal reports with my credit card company regarding fraudulent charges. No further financial transactions will be permitted. The group chat exploded like a digital nuclear bomb. Kayla, are you serious? What kind of person sends an invoice to their own family? Mom, this is hurtful and unnecessary. Abigail. You're making everything worse. Dad, we raised you better than this. That last message was the final match on a gasoline-soaked bridge. Because the truth was, they hadn't raised me. I'd raised myself while bankrolling their irresponsibility. I blocked Kayla immediately. Dad and Mom I left unblocked, purely out of morbid curiosity about how deep their delusion could go. The answer, Mariana's trench deep. They showed up at my apartment again, this time together, armed with papers and tears and the kind of manipulative desperation that only narcissists can summon when their supply runs dry. You need to talk to us, Mom said through my door, her voice trembling with performed emotion. No, I replied calmly, I really don't. Dad stepped forward, his voice carrying that familiar tone of paternal authority that had cowed me for decades. This stunt, freezing the credit card, the invoice, it's spiteful. Abigail, we're your family, and you used my name and credit card to buy flights without my permission. I snapped back, my composure finally cracking. That's not family, that's theft. We didn't think it would be an issue. Mom cried, you always help, because you trained me to. I cut in, the words pouring out like pus from a lanced wound. Since I was 22, you've treated me like a walking debit card. I helped because I was taught that saying no made me a bad daughter, but I'm done being the good daughter. Don't talk to your mother like that, Dad growled, stepping closer to the door. Don't talk to me like I owe you something. I shot back. I worked double shifts while Kayla and Derek sipped mimosas with my money. I paid your hospital bills while you called me selfish behind my back. You think this makes you strong? He demanded, turning your back on family? No, I said, my voice steady for the first time in years, but it makes me free. I closed the door, not slammed, closed, firm, deliberate, final. They didn't knock again. Later that night, Mom left one last voicemail, her voice quiet and defeated. I don't know who you are anymore. For the first time in my adult life, I smiled at those words, because I wasn't the person they'd conditioned me to be, the walking wallet, the family ATM, the daughter who set herself on fire to keep them warm. I was becoming someone new. Someone who said no, someone who mattered. The aftermath was both more and less dramatic than I'd expected. The silence lasted exactly 2 days before the panic set in, for them. Not me. Derek tried to use my old frozen credit card to rent a car in Maui. The fraud department called me directly. "Would you like to press charges?" they asked. I didn't. Not yet. But I had them document everything and email me the report. Subject line, evidence in case they escalate. Then came the truly bizarre twist that would have made a soap opera writer weep with envy. Derek's ex-wife, Marissa, reached out via Facebook. We hadn't spoken in years, but she had a gift for me, a PDF file containing bank transfers, screenshots, and email chains that revealed the ugly truth behind my family's financial desperation. Derek was gambling again, cryptocurrency this time, burning through money like it was tissue paper. Worse, he'd been skimming from mom and dad's retirement fund, the same fund they'd given him emergency access to. They knew. They all knew. They'd been using me as their personal bailout fund to cover Derek's addictions while lying to my face about family unity. The Hawaii tickets weren't theft, they were desperation. I wasn't their daughter, I was their last resort. Armed with Marissa's evidence, I sent one final message to my family. Not angry, not emotional, just factual. "You're not entitled to grace you never earned." Then I forwarded the whole file to Dad's HR department, anonymously, of course. 6 months later, I ran into Mom at a downtown cafe. Pure accident. I was grabbing my morning espresso, half asleep, earbuds in. Then her voice, Abigail. She looked smaller than I remembered, diminished. Time and consequences had shrunk her. We sat. She talked first, offering the kind of non-apology that narcissists specialize in. "We were just trying to hold everything together. We didn't realize how much you were carrying. If we could go back, maybe we'd do some things differently." No ownership, no mention of the fraud, no accountability, just emotional theater where I was supposed to play the forgiving daughter one more time. "Do you hate us now?" she finally asked. "No," I said, "but I don't owe you anything anymore." "But we're family." "That's not an argument," I replied. "That's an excuse." She handed me an envelope and left. Inside, a check for $10,050, the exact amount from my invoice. No note, no apology, just silence with a dollar sign. I didn't cash it immediately. I pinned it to my wall above my desk, next to a quote that had become my mantra: "You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm." Eventually, I did cash it. Then I donated every cent to a scholarship fund for nursing students who support their families financially while in school. Because somewhere out there is another version of me, breaking her back while her family pretends it's normal. Let her know it's not. Let her know she's not alone. Today, I'm 6 months into a relationship with David, a man I met at the hospital cafeteria who has no idea who my family is and loves me anyway. We're moving in together this fall. A new place, bigger, brighter. And no, I didn't ask anyone for money. Dad lost his job quietly after that anonymous packet reached HR. Derek is under investigation for wire fraud. Kayla sends occasional texts through mutual friends. Always some variation of "family is supposed to forgive." But here's what I've learned: forgiveness isn't the same as funding. Love isn't the same as liability. And family isn't a subscription service where I pay monthly fees for the privilege of being emotionally abused. I used to be the one they leaned on. Now I stand tall on my own. The door I closed that day is still shut. And the key is in my pocket where it belongs. I'm not their safety net anymore. I'm my own person. And for the first time in my adult life, I'm not sorry about it. Some bridges are meant to be burned. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Some families are meant to be left behind. I don't carry their weight anymore. I carry my own boundaries, my own peace, and the hard-won knowledge that being the good daughter meant being the one who bled out for others. That daughter is gone. In her place stands a woman who knows her worth, and it's not measured in dollars.